Evening peeps, good evening everyone. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button. If you guys are new to the channel, don't forget as well to like and share the vids. All right, quick vid this one. I just want to give my viewpoints on the interview that I saw today with Robert Smith, the General Secretary of the British Boxing Board of Control, and Simon Jordan. Very, very interesting. Obviously, a lot of that interview was surrounding the Conor Benn situation, or saga, as I think it's now turning into. Robert Smith basically insisted in that interview that Conor Benn will not be given his British Boxing Board of Control boxing license unless he proves his innocence to the British Boxing Board of Control, or UKAD. Obviously, Conor Benn right now looks like he's going to be given the green light by the WBC, who are still conducting their investigation. I don't understand why it's taken so long. Honestly, is he guilty or is he innocent? I like, how much grey area can there be? It feels like this is going on and on. It's almost now becoming sort of the biggest boxing drug scandal I think we've ever seen in this country. It's almost grown into that when it didn't, I don't think, needed to be that. I said from the get-go, as soon as this happened, the way in which it was handled, I thought was so bad that I feel like now it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And with Robert Smith now saying this, I just think it, whereas there's almost, I feel like we're starting to, or people are starting to contradict themselves, just because Conor Benn on the one hand is pretty much putting things out there, saying he's going to fight soon and he's looking forward to getting back. And I think Eddie's doing interviews saying, yep, he's going to be back soon. And I've been told that he's going to be back soon. I've done videos about it as well. And on the other hand, you've got Robert Smith saying, well, 1 second. Bear in mind, again, he is the head honcho for British boxing over here. He's saying, 1 second, what? That's kind of what he's doing. Like, what? What's going on? You've not sent us anything. You've not proved any innocence to us or UKAD. You're not fighting over here. You're not going to be licensed over here. And worst case, you're not even going to be able to get a foreign license and fight over here. So if Conor Benn is getting the green light from the WBC, it's very, very likely now, again, go and watch the interview, it's very, very likely, based on what Robert Smith has said, that Conor Benn will fight abroad. Obviously, Matchroom do shows in Australia, Spain, Italy, the Middle East, America. Conor Benn now looks like, unless he proves his innocence to Robert Smith, and I do feel like there's a more of an issue there, legal issue with Conor Benn's team and the British Boxing Board of Control, but unless he proves his innocence to them, he ain't getting a license. This is interesting, isn't it? Don't you guys think? I think this is now almost become crazy. Like, honestly, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what I don't understand. And look, obviously Conor's not going to speak about it. Conor's lawyers are not going to speak about it. I feel like Eddie's asking questions or being asked questions that he doesn't really know the answers to as well. Why that 270-page document that Conor Benn sent to the WBC, why has that just not been sent to UKAD and the British Boxing Board of Control? Like, why only just them? I don't get it. Remember, this was going to be a fight sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control over here. It was them that were going to sanction the fight. Surely they get sent the information you're sending to the WBC as well. No, like, why not just send it to both parties and let them almost decide amongst themselves? So the British Boxing Board of Control, UKAD, the WBC, and VADA. Why can't they all have discussions about, okay, cool, nope, guilty, 2-year ban, no, innocent, nothing? Like, why is only one side of the people that were involved in the fight getting the information? It's honestly, this is really, really bad. It really, really is. And look, what I don't want this to do, and I know a lot of you are going to come at me, and I get it, but what I don't want this to do is to damage Conor Benn's reputation. And some of you might say it's already damaged, and I agree with that. It is. But this is going to damage it further. This is going to damage it to the point where it's going to be quite difficult to come back from. Like, I think I had Trav here in the old studio a few weeks ago, and he was quite, look, people forget. That was kind of Trav's take on it. Like, come on, people forget. You know, you look at all the people that have had drug problems in boxing, and you forget. Like, Jarrell Miller's fighting in a couple of weeks. Like, people just forget, right? And I was like, and I wanted to kind of agree with him and say, yeah, you know, maybe people do forget. But I was like, dude, this is the big one. I don't know if people will forget that easy, just because it all happened on the eve, a couple of days out from the fight we all were desperate to see. desperate. And now you've got Robert Smith, who's basically saying, well, you know, you're not fighting unless you can prove your innocence. And then you've got Conor Benn, you know, wanting to fight and basically show he's going to fight soon. And Mauricio Sulaimán pretty much saying Conor Benn can fight. And Eddie saying Conor Benn's going to fight soon. There seems to be no communication amongst the British Boxing Board of Control, Eddie, Conor Benn, VADA, UCAD. It's all over the place, which sums up boxing, if I'm honest with you. Which is why I've always said boxing needs a world governing body. Like, because it's just all crazy. Like, even if Conor Benn doesn't get his license over here to fight and fights somewhere else, say the Middle East, right? Say the Middle East, Matchroom do big shows over there. That's not going to sit well with people. It's not, is it? It's not going to sit well with people. I mean, how long can that continue for as well? How long can he continually fight? Like, he's a British fighter. How long can he fight in the Middle East or America for? And I don't think people would be comfortable with him not having a British. And look, I mean, there's been others. I'm not going to mention names, but there's other fighters that fight in the UK. Trust me, they don't have British Boxing Board of Control licenses. Do your research and you'll find out who. I'm not going to sort of mention names now. But yeah, I just find it all a bit weird, peeps. So much so I need a drink. Simon Jordan is fast becoming a destructor, isn't he? I don't mind it. I don't mind it. I want him to be fair across the board. I know Simon Jordan is very, very close with Ben Shalom and Frank Warren. He goes to all their events. So I want him to be fair. If he is going to come for Eddie's head, go for Frank's head when Frank does bullshit. Go for Ben's head when Ben does bullshit as well. But he's a big disruptor in a sport which doesn't have many disruptors. Like, sometimes I watch his interviews and there is a part of me that's like, don't mind this. I don't mind someone coming in and like almost not having that care. Like, you know, like I can't do it. I can't do it now working boxing, right? I mean, even some of the best reporters and journalists can't do it. They work in the sport. You know, it's what pays their bills. Simon Jordan don't give a fuck. Doesn't work in sport, doesn't rely on this sport to put food on the table. So he can come in, and obviously he's quite educated and smart. He'll come in and say whatever he wants. So for him to get Robert Smith to come in to talk sport and talk and open up about this subject, boy, he's doing bits. He's doing bits. On this question, just before we wrap, what do you guys make of all of this? Like, does this make Conor Benn look worse in your eyes? Does it, or is this a Conor Benn team problem now? Like, Conor Benn's the boxer, right? He's paying, I'm guessing, lawyers and managers to sort this situation and shit out. Is it their fault now? Because I'm starting to believe this isn't Conor's fault now in terms of the dialogue with the British Boxing Board of Control. It's his team that for some reason have decided, no, we're not going to dialogue with you, which I'm baffled by it. And I can't wait till Conor speaks or someone from his team speaks to kind of clear things up here, because this has now become a rabbit hole and we have no idea how deep this rabbit hole is.